check. You're doing great, guys. Just a little bit more. We're going to fit about 200 people in there. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hey. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Check.
Anyone come forward, okay? Do you understand what I mean? If this is not going to work, just to tell you. If we move it further along, though, that's what.
Hey, check, 1, 2, 2, nothing.
Stay here until Luca tells us to. Luca, the name.
Sisters, brothers, welcome to Glasgow on behalf of the COP26 coalition. Thank you to everybody who's already in the park. There are people still marching. We think we're at least 150, 200,000 people marching in Glasgow alone. Birmingham's already had the biggest march that it's ever seen. Thousands in London. We think we're at least 500,000, if not more, marching on the streets of the UK, saying that the era of injustice is over. I want to welcome you on behalf of the COP26 coalition and also say, because of the weather, you might have seen a stage to our left. We've had to dismantle the stage within the hour that you've been marching and establish this. So thank you to everybody who's worked so hard to at least make sure we've got some sound and a stage. I want to first, when we set up the COP26 coalition to centre climate justice, we said we would put the voices of the global south, those who are on the front lines of injustice. And there is no other community on the front line of injustice than our sisters and brothers from the indigenous movements. So please make some noise for our sisters and brothers.
My name is Takaya Blaney. My ancestral name is Chagajimuk. I am from the Tla'amin Nation and territories illegally occupied by Canada. I stand here with my Indigenous brothers and sisters from across the world, across the coastlines. We are connected through our struggle. We are connected through our colonialism and through our survival. The same state that occupies our territory mines and pillages and rapes from their territories, and we stand together. We are not here to offer our indigenous solutions to your climate problem that colonialism created. We are not here to fix your COP agenda. We are here in spite of it. We are here to disrupt it. We are here to say the names of our missing sisters. We are here to reject false climate solutions, carbon markets, and the settler colonial governments that are talking inside those conferences right now pretending to do something. And we are here because our brothers and sisters who are on the front lines actually fighting climate change are disappearing. And so we sing this song, The Woman's Warrior, for all who have disappeared because of colonialism, because of the destruction of our lands, because we are a part of our lands. And we sing this for our futures, Because we will outlive the British Empire. We will outlive colonialism. We will outlive these COP conferences. We are not working to fix your world. We are working so your world will be rendered obsolete. Thank you.
Hello, Glasgow. I'm going to translate for my companion here from the Minga Indígena.
Wapuni ebano kemini. Monita ponta monipa nyomo. Monito Glasgow ponta monipa omere nyawoke nyomo. Y monito mamini minito. Bueno, estoy contento de ver a ustedes de todo el mundo. Yo he venido aquí a decir a los políticos no más sacar petróleo, sino
happy
nos
to see
están
you
matando
here from all
nuestra
the
agua,
world.
nuestra vida. ¿Ustedes a quién creen? ¿A los líderes o nosotros los verdaderos guardianes de la selva?
Do you believe in leaders or to us, the real guardians of the earth?
Por eso he venido hasta aquí para defender como mis abuelos,
This
a
is why I
defender
have come here to
con
defend like my
sangre, con la
ancestors.
lanza. Nunca vamos a dejar nuestra selva, no con
will
los
never leave
políticos,
our jungle.
siempre con nuestros abuelos como defendieron nuestra selva
Just as
viva.
our ancestors defended the lands, we will continue.
Para dejar a nuestra niñez, a futuras generaciones. Es por eso he llegado hasta aquí. Gracias.
To leave the children for next generation alive, I have traveled all this way.
Yanani waponi tomameka waira ni nyomone moni egan kami ponda monipa. Ingati nyom awinta mona yimonte yemontaringe. Nyomone mono bien que obipoya pe moimpa. Ay eventi goringe obipoya gokimpa. Maninge amopa. Nosotros hemos venido muy profundo de la selva.
We have
Nosotros
come
somos
from
de
the
la
deepest
selva.
parts of the forest.
Cuando morimos
We are
también
from the
vamos a ir de
forest.
la selva. Por
When
eso
we die,
tenemos
we
que
will go
tener
back to the
respeto a
forest.
nuestra madre tierra. Y nosotros cuando cerremos los ojos y abrimos, el mundo tenemos que tener como una mano hacia la mirada hacia adelante, no ver atrás. El mundo tenemos que seguir protegiendo para nuestras futuras generaciones. Gracias.
We have to keep with one hand in the future, keep protecting the earth.
Sin agua nosotros no podemos vivir a la humanidad.
Without water, we cannot live. Humanity cannot continue.
Protegémonos. ¡Viva! ¡Guarani!
Protect us. Hooray for the Guarani.
Runakunaka! Kaipimikanchi! Runakunaka! Kaipimikanchi! Kaipimikashun! Alpamanda! Yuramanda! Yakumanda! Rumimanda! Ninamanda! Kaipimikanchi! Runakunaka! Kaipimikanchi. Hablo en este idioma
I speak in this language
porque este idioma es la filosofía de los quichuas.
because this language has the
Es la
philosophy of the
raíz
Quichua people.
de nuestros padres
It's the
que
root.
derramaron lágrimas y sangres para permanecer esta lengua.
It's the root that our parents spilled much blood to keep for us so we can still have it.
Este idioma es de la naturaleza, es de ustedes
This
y
is
es
the
de
language of
todos.
nature. It's yours and it is everyone's.
Con este idioma me conecto con la raíz de una planta, con
With this
una
language,
raíz de
we connect
nuestros padres, de
To the
nuestros
seed
abuelos.
of a plant, with our parents, with our grandparents.
Seguiremos aquí luchando junto con ustedes.
We
El
will continue
sueño de
fighting
nuestros
together with
padres,
you.
el sueño de nuestros abuelos.
For the
Y
dream of our
seguiremos
parents
aquí.
and our grandparents.
Huyayay runakuna. Huyayay abyayele runakuna. Kaipimikashun. Kaipimikatishun. Aquí estaremos. Aquí seguiremos. Nuestra raíz va a expandir todo el mundo. Muchísimas gracias.
Mari kompu penyi kompula mien. Kumi feita kustake ñitti ustake tragun. Buenas tardes, hermanos y hermanas.
Good evening, brothers and sisters.
Bienvenidas todas a esta muestra de lucha y de hermandad.
Welcome to this show of strength
No
and to
estamos
brotherhood.
solos. No estamos solos.
We're not alone.
Todos los espíritus están con nosotros.
All the
Todos los,
spirits are with us.
todos los abuelos que estuvieron aquí lucharon para que esta tierra sea libre.
All of our ancestors fought to make this world this way.
Todo el mundo vegetal y todo el mundo animal en esta danza
The animal and the vegetable world have all been together with us.
de espiritualidad, de fuerza, de lucha, de energía.
With spirituality, with strength and struggle.
Sin colores, sin fronteras,
Without colors, without frontiers.
como una sola gran familia.
Like one large family.
Adentro negocian lo que es nuestro.
Inside they're negotiating about what is
Somos la
ours.
tierra, somos el agua,
We are earth,
somos
we
el
are
fuego,
water, we are
somos
fire,
el espíritu.
we are the spirits.
Nosotros tenemos que decidir cómo vamos a vivir
We must decide how
para
we're going to live
trascender como humanidad.
to transcend as humanity,
No los gobiernos.
not governments.
ready. I have the great...
Just before you start. Sorry, if anybody's got any accessibility needs, can they please come to the front over here? And we have made a space, so if anybody's got any accessibility needs, please make yourself aware to the stewards and come to the front. Sorry. Carry on, brother.
I have the great pleasure to introduce to you today Gregorio Mirabal Diaz, the General Coordinator of the Indigenous Peoples Coordination of the Amazon Basin, representing the Global Alliance of Territorial Communities, indigenous peoples across Mesoamerica, Amazon, Brazil, and Indonesia. Gregorio.
Hermanos y hermanas,
Brothers and sisters,
un abrazo grande de la Amazonía, del tamaño de este planeta para todos ustedes.
a big hug to everyone from the Amazon Basin, a hug the size of the planet.
Estamos aquí en nombre de las organizaciones indígenas de África, de Indonesia, de Mesoamérica, de la Alianza de Comunidades Territoriales de Mesoamérica y de la COICA, la selva tropical más grande del planeta.
We are here representing the indigenous peoples of the Amazon Basin, of Indonesia, of Mesoamerica, of Brazil, the Global Alliance of Territorial Communities.
Solamente queremos pedirle de corazón su apoyo, su solidaridad para construir un gobierno de los pueblos como están aquí.
We just want to ask you from our heart your support, your solidarity to build governance of indigenous peoples around the world.
Un gobierno con el poder que se ha demostrado en estas calles.
A
Donde
government that shows the power of the people like we are in the streets today.
donde han caminado los animales que son nuestros hermanos, donde han caminado los abuelos, nuestros niños, nuestras niñas. Ha caminado la selva, ha caminado los espíritus de nuestros ancestros en esta gran marcha.
In this march with us today have marched children, have marched the animals and the spirits of our ancestors. They are all here present with us today.
No queremos regresar. Logremos reunirnos para parar esta catástrofe climática, moral, económica que está contaminando el planeta. Y necesitamos unirnos. Necesitamos unirnos con ustedes. Y para eso necesitamos una conferencia mundial de los pueblos para salvarnos como pueblos. Gracias.
We don't want to leave here today until we've opened everyone's hearts to work together to stop the climate catastrophe, the economic catastrophe. And that's why we need a global summit of indigenous peoples.
Hello, how's everyone doing? How we doing? Big louder, how we doing? Welcome, well done everyone for coming out today. My name's Johnny Cypher, I'm going to be one of your hosts.
I'm Mitzi, I'm from Fridays for Future MAPA and Southern People's Climate Action for COP26. And we are over 250,000 people here. Woo-hoo-hoo. I have no voice, but I will be the best host I can be today. So, will you tell us who we have up first?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a big warm welcome for Paula Joya, a peasant farmer and a beekeeper working in a community farm in Germany, represents La Via Capicia, and it's the largest movements of workers and peasants in the world. Please, a big welcome for Paula Joya.
Hello there! I'd like to call all land workers in the world to unite. Food sovereignty for climate justice now! It is the most chaotic climate year on record. We are now 2 years into a global pandemic that has taken lives of so many people in this world. Millions of people have given their lives, and this was one of the reasons for the UK government to not allow people from the global south to come to be here with us, to show democracy, to show justice, and to demand climate justice now. Humanity is facing daily historical floods, fires, droughts, increasing hunger, making life more and more difficult for all of us, peasants, pastoralists, fishers, and other rural communities. And what we see inside the COP, we see market-based solutions, we see risky techno-fix, we see net zero proposals, all of them coming by corporate-controlled governments, coming from transnationals, coming from philanthropists, coming from mass media, and a lot of NGOs as well. And what they are feeding is actually the climate inaction of all of them. And we are the ones actually feeding the world nature-based solutions, climate-smart agriculture, and geoengineering. All of these are full bullshit. Climate capitalism is a crime, not the solution. And this has to stop now. La Via Campesina, together with millions of other small-scale food producers organizations, we join this larger convergence of struggles against fossil fuel capitalism, against racism, against colonialism, and against patriarchy. We stand for a system change. We stand for a system change rooted in the rights of humanity and of Mother Earth. And I can guarantee you that from our side, we will remain working towards agroecological farming, sustainable forestry, and a better land use. Our real solutions serve the people, serve the climate, serve the nature. And the transition has to be now. Peasant agroecology and food sovereignty can feed the world, can cool the planet, and feed climate justice. Therefore, I urge land workers, pastoralists, fisher folks, I urge migrant workers
for globalized hope? Globalized hope! Next up, we have someone who will also talk about the intersections of the climate crisis. We have Yvette Vett from the Gulf Coast Center for Law and Policy, who is central and one of the leading voices for the movement for Black lives, critical in the creation of the Red, Black, and Green New Deal. Let's give it up for Yvette!
My name is Yvette Arellano, and at my home, I am the founder of Fenceline Watch, and my home is home to the largest petrochemical complex in our country. It's the second largest in the world, and I'm here to say that more and more women every year are unable to have children, including myself. I'm here to say that our future is at stake as our land, water, and air become saturated with toxins. And I'm here to heed a warning that these plants and infrastructure are increasingly vulnerable as they reach 100 years. With an impending climate crisis and uncertain times, we must fight for our collective struggle from leadership of women of color.
Halito! My name is Betty Billiard. My people are the Homonation tribe of Louisiana. My relatives from across the world. I want you to know that I stand with you. We see you in your struggle. Your fight is our fight. Your story is our story. My tribe and community is still suffering from the effects of Hurricane Ida. We are the leader in our nation for land loss, for coastal erosion, for hurricanes, for saltwater intrusion, all which has been accelerated by the extraction industries who have come in and dredged our lands and destroyed our coastal land protections. The time for change is now. The time for reparations is now. We choose now. Today I honor the ancestor that is my grandmother Nancy Mobley on the eve of her born day because she is one of the reasons I can stand here today, Ashe. Who I am is of no consequence, but who we are as the African diaspora will be. We choose now to end the divide and conquer tactics that are used to keep continental Africa and the African diaspora from uniting to address the environmental racism that plagues our countries and communities. Since the beginning of time, we as African peoples have always held the solution to the world's issues, and this climate crisis is no different. We choose now to say that all of our Black futures matter. We demand a just transition for all Black people across the diaspora. Equitable and direct investment into our countries and communities should be priority because we have contributed the least to the climate crisis but have been the most impacted. So please be expeditious with our loss and damages, please. Lastly, you all are invited on the journey. Put your fist up with me one time. Fist up. We choose now.
No, ndị Igbo si na iwere otu ọkụkọ chọrọ arụsị abụọ ya, ha gbuo mmadụ mezuo ya. Igbo people say when one chicken is offered in sacrifice to two gods, they will kill a human being to complete the offering. We cannot apply shortcuts to climate change, for the consequences will be severe. I am an Igbo woman, a Nigerian American, a Black woman, an immigrant at the front line of climate change. We can no longer serve two gods. We must choose capitalism or the pursuit of life with dignity. Capitalism or the pursuit of a life worth living. We must choose now. Our houses are on fire, and we can no longer wait for action. Our so-called world leaders want to tell us how to run to safety. Climate justice is migrant justice. It is the right to leave and the right to stay where you call home. We remember today the Haitian migrants who were abused at the U.S. southern border for fleeing a hurricane, an earthquake, and a political crisis due to many actions by the global north. We choose now to fight for the dignity of all. We choose now to make a choice, because if we do not make a choice now, it is a death sentence. We will not be sacrificed between two gods. Thank you. Please follow us in the chant. The seas are rising, and so are we. The seas are rising. 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 That is the chant from the Gulf South of the United States. 5 states coming together to say that indigenous communities and members of the Gulf South will not be removed from the conversation of climate action. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause there for our last speakers. All right. Yeah, in a wee minute. Right. Yeah. What you say? Yeah, climate justice intimate. Oh. Climate justice! Climate justice! Climate justice! Climate justice! Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Yep. Yep. Yeah, cool. Do you want to come in on in, Mitzi? You ready for an intro? Here,
Axé! Laroye Exu! O povo negro sofre em toda a diáspora, em todos os países colonizados.
The black people is suffering all over the world and the diaspora.
No Brasil não é diferente.
And Brazil is not different.
O povo negro morre todos os dias.
The black Brazilian people dies every single day.
Seja pela violência policial.
For the brutality of the police.
Pelo racismo ambiental.
For the ambiental racism.
Pela desigualdade social.
For the social difference between the population.
Nós exigimos a titulação dos territórios quilombolas no Brasil.
We want the Brazilian quilombolas lands being legalized. We want the demarcation for the Brazilian quilombolas.
São milhares de comunidades no interior e no campo no Brasil.
There is thousands of quilombolas communities in the cities and also in the outskirts of the cities.
Nós vivemos um grande genocídio do povo negro brasileiro.
We live a largest genocide of the black Brazilian people.
O mundo precisa saber que temos um presidente genocida.
The world needs to know we have a genocide president.
O mundo precisa derrubar Bolsonaro.
The world needs to take Bolsonaro out.
Fora Bolsonaro! Fora Bolsonaro! Fora Bolsonaro! Fora Bolsonaro! Fora Bolsonaro! Fora Bolsonaro! Viva o povo negro brasileiro!
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech. It's so important that we listen, especially to the people of color, especially to the black people who have barely contributed to the climate crisis yet are experiencing the worst impacts of it. We have to remember that every aspect of the climate crisis is an intersectional one, and that we have to tackle every system of injustice in order to achieve climate justice. And our next performer, if he's ready, is ready. Let's give it up for my co-host, Johnny.
Hello guys, how you doing? A big welcome to the stage for Jam Harvey, Tickle, Becky Wallace, Erin Friel, and Pack. Come on out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Johnny Cypher. This is a song called This Is It.
This is it.
Wow.
We'll keep you safe and well it matter then.
We're all together in this.
Alright, you're probably wondering why I called this meeting with the poets, with the people that give this kind of conference meeting. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, I'm sure they're all trying their hardest. Just while they chat about managing targets, I thought I'd gather the artists. We all got a stake in this, MCs are no scared of taking risks, saying how we really feel. I'm wondering what we say to this. Scotland's Green Movement needs to consider how it involves any environmental movement without the working class is no movement at all. Social ecology, I honestly think that we're missing the trick by thinking the climate's a hobby for middle class hipsters and miserable gits. The same thing causing the inequality, discrimination and stress. It's the same blind hunger to be sheep that get us ever deeper into this mess. I see no need to resort to the recent IPCC report to get these people aboard. Need to be exposed to the depressing statistics. Who's supposed so keen to ignore that the toxin runs too deep and it goes for a peaceful approach, and I feel like I've been here before. So, enough is enough.
We gave you quarter. You hacked the forest with poison, bred life for slaughter. We lined your pockets. Human fodder as the borders crack, the earth expands and contracts, and in the midst of that the hierarchy blame the impoverished. I wasn't taught to be thoughtful, advertising for profit. I acquired an awful lot of pointless objects, as we all did. A philosophic subordinate of the global order. I come to the table with a lot to learn, but more to offer. So here's a cautionary story of how not to die. Surround yourself with your possessions as the stars collide. The richest purchase weapons for the inevitable reckoning when the Western population realise that they're next in the firing line. No community left amidst the panic. I predict that this is the moment where we suddenly accept it's happening, holding on to the agonal gas of society. As a knife edge meets the skin, the waters will get in. You will be taken in your backup plan. We'll keep you safe and will it matter then? We're all together in this.
We wish someone had told us. We wish that we had known. Sister Earth could not afford us, so the system took what's owed. The man should admit it, I found out the shit is his alone. But they pick on the sick of the victims while the richest live in domes. So we're far from ready, man, for the Armageddon slam. Yeah, there's hardly any plan. That's why billions gonna die. And we're all carried a can. The poor, the ordinary guy. Caught short, unfortunately gagged. So billions gonna try to get up, stand up, put your hand up. You carried act too. Bet I'm fed up getting out by the insurmountable fact that the boss's class is white, mass is weak, so we can wipe their asses. Speak equal rights, strike at last to fight the bastards. So people side with planet, resist this climate damage. It seems some dismiss the kind of savage signs of ravage. Retreating eyes cracks up and see the seas are rising rapidly. Beast disease, blighted, baffling past our time. We try to battle.
If we bold it, they'll come. If the climate will change, feel the heat for the sun. Stunning under the rain, more offs in pain. Clear the air in my name. Kissing sours I win. I've watched the climate change wet. Me and the mocker, make these walker. We sitting in the heat and a huffer. Try suffer for a vegan burger. Threat, I need another reason to wonder. But I'm not in this world full of wonder. I dropped a hunter, volts, a lightning bolts and a ball of thunder. Wet put your eyes in your pocket. Look it, wet plan doesn't work cause we broke it. You don't, when we're all just trying like an SS in the desert. But there's no need to ignore. We've been here before. Could show you the door. That lies. No look to the sky, not asking is why we all deny that the science. Where there's plastic cups, plastic case, plastic bags, plastic waste, plastic fans, plastic nose or plastic kid boy or plastic face. World's a better place cause ours, but wait a minute, time will show you how good it could be if we were on the end there.
I said I'm real and I'm keeping. We always try to conceal, but I'm not making it up. You see, this life's so surreal, it's hard to deal with how fast the self is moving. But we haven't done it by looking after or improving, taking things for granted. If you can't see we're losing, you need to wake up from your blind and confusion. I don't find it amusing. What the fuck are you doing? You need to refrain from using the words that you're using. We need to stop abusing this planet that was blooming. Stop producing the poison and pollution. We should stand up, we need to find the solution. Need to start with straight talking and no delusion. Begin a revolution to start redistributing the wealth. We need a contribution, we need your help.
This is it, now's the moment. As the knife edge breaks the skin, the waters will get in. You will be taken in your backup plan.
Put your hands up, everyone!
Safe and will it matter then? We're all together in this.
The climate's changing, planet rearranging. Where's our haven? Where's our heaven? Been fighting demons since age of 7. Better watch for serpents up in the places we lurking. Earth is giving us birth, but we're only giving a burden. Take me back to Pangea, back to the future. 2-seater, 2 blocks, 2 demons that could have swore that we knew Peter. Dear Mother Nature, I'm so sorry for my part. Noise pollution, light pollution, trying to shine up in the dark. Fire in the park, rainforest going up in sparks. Now I gotta swim the flood. They're already building up, so the pandemic just seemed like a slight message. Messing with the Messiah and the Maker just might end it. Politicians, yeah, I called the bluff. Yeah, they think they're tough, making up the rules for us, but they don't know when times get tough. Times get rougher in the dirt, we find the diamonds in the world of anti-climate. We just got to rise and climb it. Put your hands up! Thank you.
Guys, give you a
Yeah.
This is it! Again, that was This Is It, and this is really it. This is the leadership that we need. This is the climate leadership that we're seeing, because the leaders aren't inside the UN Climate Summit. They are right here in this park. Let's give it up for the true leaders of the climate movement. And next up, we have one of our leading voices, Reverend Dr. Neddy Astudillo, a Venezuelan ecologian who coordinates the Green Faith's Latinx and Latin America organizing. Let's give it up for Dr. Neddy.
Hola, Glasgow! Hello, beautiful people! I stand before the leadership of the beautiful young and older people that have walked through Glasgow yesterday and today, demanded climate justice. It is an honor to follow in your steps. It is also, and I'm clear that it is my responsibility and the responsibility of people of faith to make sure that people of faith also hear the cry of the earth, the cry of the poor, and the cry of future generations. It is my role to make sure that people of faith stop searching for a life in heaven and recognize that we cannot pray with our hands and instead destroy the earth with our feet. Friends, I'm part of a multi-faith delegation that has been here in Glasgow this week. For all of us, the earth is sacred, and all the people are sacred. We are listening. We are coming back to these principles of our faith, and the earth is bringing us all together. And there is hope for the earth, because this is part of the process of reconciliation that the world needs to meet climate justice. Especially among our own faith traditions, in years past, we have tried to convert each other. We have killed each other. We have colonized and oppressed each other, but for the good of a few rich. But this trend is responsible for the destruction of the earth, and this must stop, and we will stop. I'd like to remind our fellow Christians that, as our scripture says, that we hear a call and warning to care for God's creation, and with this respect, this goal, the harmonious order in which God created the world and all the creatures suffer the consequences. In our tradition, we do have a story where all sectors of society have come together to avert collective crisis. This is the story of John and the Pharaoh's dream, and this is our story. As the Pharaoh's dream and the old means of divine revelation, we hear very clearly what the scientists are warning us. Our time is running out. In Joseph's story, people are receptive to the unprecedented revelation, and they organize themselves without delay to lessen the impact on everyone, not just the powers to be. Peasants, religious leaders, government leaders, everyone does their part. It is time to do the same. Each one inspired in the common good needs to do their part to avoid a major crisis. We are here as people of faith, saying we are ready to do our part. We are here to remind those in power, it is time for you to do our part. We are not willing to part from our faith in a good God and a good creation. So we call for an end to fossil fuels and deforestation, an end to finance that destroys the climate, universal access to clean energy, green jobs to build back fossil-free, climate reparations from wealthy countries, and respect for indigenous rights. May the blessing of our God, Creator, the Spirit of life within all of you in this precious moment, may we achieve together climate justice. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. Amen. May it be so.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Reverend Dr. Maybe. Guys, it's a great pleasure of mine to be able to introduce the next speaker. So often, when we're talking about climate change, we leave the working class out of that conversation. And today, representing over 500,000 trade unionists in Scotland, it's the absolutely amazing, excuse me, Ros Fire.
Hello, Glasgow Green. I want to start by thanking all of the people around the world who are taking action today to defend our planet and all those who live on it. And I'm here today to bring you a message of solidarity from Scotland's trade unions and the working people of Scotland. The actions that you are taking today are vitally important. The bosses and the politicians who run this planet are not going to make the changes that we need to make our planet sustainable. So we need to build a huge and angry and a powerful movement for change. And we need to force our governments to tax the rich, to regulate and take our energy systems back into public ownership, to set and to enforce emissions targets, to fund the global south, and to deliver a real just transition of our global economy that leaves no community, no group of workers and no poor countries on the scrap heap. We need to across all of the people around the world. And we are not powerless to make change happen, because we have the ability to build a force big enough to deliver the changes we need. And that force is people power. So let's make today the day that we all join together. The day that trade unionists say to climate campaigners that your fight for a sustainable planet is our fight and we will support you. And the day that climate campaigners say to workers, your fight for fair, sustainable jobs is our fight and we will also support you. Because we are the many, they are the few, and when we join together, the ordinary people who care about giving our planet a sustainable future, the climate activists, the anti-poverty campaigners, the community activists, equality campaigners and the trade unionists and all those who are fighting for a fairer future for our kids, we are more powerful than we can dare to imagine. And those in government will bend to our demands. The fight for climate justice and the fight for social justice must go hand in hand. So let's salute all of the workers who are taking strike action across Scotland to defend jobs. Let's salute the anti-cuts campaigners who've been active here in the city of Glasgow. Let's salute the youth climate strikers. Let's salute all those campaigning for a fairer future for this global south. prepared to take action to highlight the issues and call for real system change to our economies. We all share the same cause, and we're the generation that must hold our governments to account. So right here, right now, across the globe, we will stand together and we will fight together and we will use our people power to secure the future that we all deserve. Thank you. Solidarity.
Thank you, Russell. Are you guys ready to build that movement? I hear you. Are you angry? Climate change is class war. Tax the rich. Climate change is class war. Tax the rich. And next up, we have an amazing speaker from Uganda. Can you guys guess who she is? She's from Fridays for Future, MAPA, and from the Rise Up movement. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it a hand for Vanessa Nakate!
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. In 2019, I started a project that involves the installation of solar panels and eco-friendly stoves in schools in Uganda, and we have so far done installations in 13 schools. It has been beautiful seeing these schools finally have light and the excitement of the students and the teachers at the end of the installations. It has always been pure joy, and I'm so thankful to everyone supporting this project. From the head teacher from one of the schools. Thanks for everything. At Butega Primary School, the heavy storm came and destroyed the roofing of our school. We don't know what next. My heart froze, and then he started to send pictures, and I could see the roofs of the classrooms, the iron sheets destroyed, and around six children standing in front of the classroom without the roof, and the head teacher holding the once installed solar panel. Some of the crops from the school farm were also on the ground. It was so devastating to see. And then the head teacher sent me an audio, and some of the hurtful words and striking words he told me were, "We are here in an outcry, as you can see. Yesterday, we had a very strong storm because of the rain. It came when it was so heavy, it has destroyed everything. It has destroyed our crops, the school roof, and our solar which you provided was also put down. We are trying to fix it, but things are not easy. We were so worried about the panel, but I think it was not destroyed. We shall test it and see if it is still working. But all the wires and the bulbs were destroyed. I need someone to tell me how to explain to the head teacher that the strong winds and the heavy rainfall will not stop because the words and promises of leaders do not match their actions. And this is just one example, just one. Many schools are being destroyed because of extreme weather events. I need someone to tell me how to explain to farmers who are losing their crops and farms because of droughts and floods that seem to never end. And leaders continue to open up new coal power plants, construct oil pipelines, and frack gas without paying attention and listening to the voices crying out for help because of the destruction that is happening. That leaders have failed to understand that we cannot eat coal, we cannot drink oil, and we cannot breathe so-called natural gas. Is there anyone among you who can help me explain to girls dropping out of schools, girls being forced into early marriages, women walking long distances to collect water and find food for their families, that the decisions being made by governments right now are only going to increase the challenges that they are facing. The climate and ecological crisis is not just about weather patterns or data points or net zero targets. It's not about people, real people, children, real people like you and me. And it is not taking place at a point of time. It is happening right now. Yes, we have to keep global temperatures to 1.5 degrees. 2 degrees is already hell for us. It's already destruction. It's already suffering. It's already disaster. Any rise will only make things worse. The science is very clear. The most recent IPCC says that in order to avoid the worst impacts of the climate crisis, we have to end the development of all new fossil fuels. Existing developed reserves exceed the 2-degree budget, and oil and gas reserves alone break the 1.5-degree budget. Even the International Energy Association stated in its recent World Energy Outlook report that we cannot have any new fossil fuel development if we are to have a fighting chance of staying below 1.5 degrees. 9 million people are dying prematurely every year from breathing toxic air from the burning of fossil fuels. More than 90% of the world's children breathe unsafe air every day. So first, we need to keep coal, oil, and so-called natural gas in the ground. I am from Kampala, Uganda, a country that has one of the fastest changing climates in the world. And as I've grown up, I've studied more and more about how the climate crisis was already ravaging vast parts of the African continent, which is tragic and ironic when you think about how Africa is the lowest emitter of CO2 emissions of all continents except for Antarctica. Many Africans are losing their lives while countless more have lost their livelihoods. The droughts and floods have left nothing behind for the people, nothing except for pain, agony, suffering, starvation, and death. And a recent World Bank report warned that we could see up to 86 million people displaced in sub-Saharan Africa alone due to rising sea levels, desertification, declining fresh water, and food scarcity. Over the past few months, there have been deadly heat waves and wildfires in Algeria and devastating flooding in countries like Uganda and Nigeria. And the UN has declared that Madagascar is on the brink of the world's first climate change famine. Tens of thousands of people are already suffering catastrophic levels of hunger, and food insecurities are already here. The climate and ecological crises are already here, but so are citizens from around the globe. Leaders rarely have the courage to lead. It takes citizens, people like you and me, to rise up and demand action. And when we do that in great enough numbers, our leaders will move. Until then, we must demand that our leaders treat the climate crisis like a crisis. We must demand that our leaders stop holding meaningless summits and start taking meaningful action. We are all strong together and united, and we can make this happen. Another world is possible. What we have always wanted is possible. We can do this together. We cannot get discouraged because another world is formable. Strength and hope is our way forward, and courage. Even deniers will start to see what we see. Their eyes will be opened and enlightened by our persistence and truth, and they won't deny anymore. They'll join us in this fight and demand for this world that we envision. The leaders will listen because they won't have any other option, because the power of the people always wins. Yes, we are unstoppable, and we are going to heal this land. In fact, we are already healing the land with love, protect, possible. And to leaders, governments, and businesses, they must always remember that we are all connected to Earth. Earth is spiritual. Earth has a life of its own. Earth has an intellect. Earth has an understanding. Earth speaks and it can be spoken to. These are words I learned from my spiritual father, Apostle Grace. And the question to leaders is, if Earth is speaking right now, are you listening to the voice of the Earth? Are you listening to what Earth is saying? Thank you, everyone.
Come on, Glasgow, let's hear it for Vanessa Nakati. It's incredible. People are still coming into the Glasgow Green. We've still got people all the way down Argyll Street, all around the country, thousands and thousands of people. Let me just tell you, organised by the COP26 Coalition, a coalition of grassroots organisations. And I want to give a big cheer to all the volunteers who've helped put this on today. Grassroots organisations from Glasgow and all over. And one of those organisations and a member of the COP26 Coalition that we're really proud is, of course, Migrants Organised for Rights and Empowerment. And there are two comrades I want to introduce. Barvina and somebody who really doesn't need much introduction, Yvonne. Stalwarts of migrants organising here in Glasgow, the global south and the global north. Yvonne.
So before I get Yvonne on here, I want to get you warmed up and I need you to rev it up when I speak here. Call and response, are we ready? Decolonize!
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 We don't want your blood money!
We don't want your blood money!
Wanna change the world, honey!
Wanna change the world, honey!
We don't want your blood money!
We don't wanna change the world, honey!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now! Matter!
When I say migrants, you say matter. Migrants!
Matter!
Migrants!
Matter!
This is the energy we need. Give some love to Yvonne!
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming here. The energy is amazing. My name is Yvonne Blake. I'm the co-founder of Migrants Organising for Rights and Empowerment. We're a migrant-led grassroots organisation in Glasgow, and we campaign for asylum-seeking people's access to employment, education, decent housing, and dignity. We should not have to do that, but because of a hostile environment policy, because of a racist immigration system, because of systemic racism, we have to be campaigning so that people can have access to basic needs. People can have access to food. People can have access to clothing. People who are fleeing war-torn countries, war that has been imposed upon countries from the global north. We are here not because we are here by choice. We came here, our blood, sweat and tears build this Glasgow. My ancestors were taken on the River Clyde. We were sold in slavery. We build this country. This country belongs to us, and we will not hide. We will be visible, and we will speak, and you will listen. It is impossible. It is impossible. It is criminal. It is, I can't even find the word to describe it. To speak about climate justice unless you speak about migrant justice, unless you speak about racial justice. There cannot be no climate justice without migrant justice. There cannot be no climate justice without racial justice. The people who create the climate crisis, the racist climate crisis, they are the ones who are sitting in the COP26 negotiations. They are the ones who are expected to bring the change. We do not rely on them to bring the change. It is us who bring the change. The people, we are the change. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. We will never be defeated. We are the change. Look at us. Look at me. I am the change. We are the change. We bring the change here. And we ask every single people speaking about Indigenous Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. If you don't see someone who looks like me, it is not about Black Lives Matter. It is not about Indigenous Lives Matter. What that is doing, that is just replicating the very same structures that get us here. We need to not only wave signs and say Black Lives Matter. We need to express this in our everyday lives. So when we go to places and we hear people talking, we need voices from the global south, people from the global south to speak. We need to ensure that our social, we need to ensure that we put our finances where our mouth is. We need to ensure that we put our social capital where our mouth is, so that people from the global south, we have the change, so that we can come forward and present the change. Thank you so much. Our people united can never be defeated. Our people united. Our people united. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Say it loud, say it clear. Thank you very much.
So when I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives. Black Lives. When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives.
Matter.
Black Lives.
Matter.
Thank you for that powerful speech, and let's show those world leaders that rain or shine, we will fight for climate justice! Next up, we have an amazing speaker, some of the activists from the front lines of the climate crisis. We have Jetnell Kitchener from the Pacific Climate Warriors, all the way from the Pacific.
Oh, it's cold. Yahweh Gomaleb! Yahweh! Hello, everybody! I traveled all the way out from my home, the Marshall Islands, so that I can be here with you all today to join the call for climate justice and climate action. And I'm grateful and humbled to be given this platform to speak. The Marshall Islands is located in the northern Pacific Ocean. We are an atoll nation, only 2 meters above sea level, with no mountains like some of the bigger islands, no mountains or higher ground to go to. Some people here will tell I would have said the same thing. With the rising sea level, even half a meter of sea level rise will result in water flooding our islands, and our islands will become unlivable in 20 years. We would just need 2-story walls around our entire islands just to keep the water out. So the physical existence of our islands is what's at stake. That's why I flew all the way here, over multiple planes for over 18 hours. That's why I flew for the first time in 2 years since the pandemic began. I haven't left my islands for 2 years since our borders closed during the start of COVID, but I knew the only reason I'd leave is to make sure our message gets here. Thank you. Jesus. And my message is this: we as a people are not going anywhere. We survived 3 eras of colonialism. We survived over 60 nuclear weapons detonated in our islands during the U.S. nuclear weapons testing program. And let me tell you, we will survive climate change. We refuse to leave. We refuse to go anywhere, and our sovereignty is not up for debate. But we do need collective action. We need the biggest emitters to be held accountable. We need financing to implement the solutions we're developing ourselves. We contribute 0.00005% of the world's global emissions. We did nothing to contribute to this crisis, and we should not have to pay the consequences. Thank you. Yes, nothing. We're looking at extreme solutions to be able to remain in our islands, reclaiming land, elevating our land, and the preliminary cost will be tens of billions of dollars. And we can only adapt so far before there's irreversible loss and damage. And we need separate streams of financing for all of that. We need to keep pressure that COP26 doesn't allow offsets or endanger human rights or the rights of Indigenous people. So to close, I'd like to say something about faith. Faith in change. Faith in our youth. Faith in the elders who laid the groundwork, the Indigenous, Global South, the Pacific and Caribbean Islanders who are in there right now holding the line. Faith in this movement, in you all, in collective action. There's a Marshallese legend about a whale that was once taunting a tiny bird, deeming itself dominant, more powerful. That tiny bird gathered a storm of birds, thousands fluttering across the sky, each one gulping down every drop of ocean, leaving the whale stranded, beached, forcing the whale to admit that yes, smallness is a state of mind. Yes, the ocean begins with a single drop, and so too does our faith. Thank you. When I say we are not drowning, we are fighting. We are not drowning. We are not drowning. We are not drowning. Thank you. Kumortawa.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Pacific Climate Warriors. Guys, we've all been in isolation for the last few years. It's so nice to see so many people here for a fantastic cause. Big up yourselves for standing out in this beautiful Glasgow weather. Round of applause for yourselves. Guys, hip-hop has always been about social change, and our next performer is one of the best ambassadors of that kind of message. A big welcome, please, for Bristol-born rapper, Diz Neely.
How are we doing, lovelies? How are you feeling out there in the gorgeous weather? Man, there's so much to be freaking angry about right now, isn't there? Make some noise if you're angry. Friends of the Earth released a report last week to say it's not just Cambo that's in the pipeline, the picture for new fossil fuel projects that are in the pipeline. There are 40 new fossil fuel projects in the pipeline in the UK alone. There is plenty to be angry about, but I think that what actually brought us here today, more than anything else, is love. Is the people that we love. I know what brought me here today is my two sons. I got twin sons, they're 11 months old. They're called Idris and Paco. So let's just all reconnect with that for just a second. On the count of three, I want you all to shout out the name of someone that you're here for today. Someone that you love, that you're here for, their future, their present. 1, 2, 3. Oi! I'm going to ask you to do a little bit more audience participation as well. This one's really simple. It goes, rise, keep the moon ship rising, must rise. Something has died in your eyes, so come on, rise. Kiddies and creatures alike, the sun rises, fucking godly wonder. These are your times. I say rise, you say rise, rise, rise. With all your heart and energy as if it could warm you from the inside, rise. Keep the moon ship rising, must rise. Something has died in your eyes, so come on, rise. Kiddies and creatures alike, the sun rises, fucking godly wonder, these are your times. Let's run the beats. Can you hear me back there? Hey, there we go. Get loosened, get loosened. Bouncing is the best cure for rain. What? Little lunatic, you save a mouth dog. Claiming now you're pacing round, taking out blocks. What about encapsulating human ways you're proud of? Shine like the bonnets down at Avon Mouth Docks. It's a short existence, man, think a minute. Session got a case of shitty thrusters, case of bollockage and drug-related willy problems. But we're taking little losses, constant living godless. Some of us rot in civil offices and little boxes. Others nibble after dinner lobsters, sipping frosted vodkas, clinking crystal goblets for the things accomplished. Let's go in, I'm on it. I'm feeling big today. Let's spray our faith across the city for the kids to clock in. It's not a product, it's a little bit of something honest. It's not a product, it's a little bit of something honest. And that is rarer than you ever would believe, bro. I was sheeped up to very many shepherds have deceived us. I'm sick of sheep dick. Please listen, these kids have written so much deep shit. You'll drown if you don't perceive it. They're getting close to Jesus. That's the power of proclaiming. The one power that's ours for the taking. But have 1,000 ounces of uranium contained within the boundaries of the cranium. Spraying from the mountains or from stadium stages. Take it in a blaze of 50 kilowatt lasers. Spin it to the cosmos till the gods taste it. You phosphorescent volcanic blow the roof. Give me anecdotes so close to mathematics, so confused. The God particle combined to form compounds. With life forms of electrified water. What now? Fuck right! Keep the moon shit rising, come on, right! Something has died in your eyes, and come on, right! Can these creatures and light the sunrise? It's fucking godly wonder, these are your times, right! Keep the moon shit rising, come on, right! Come on, right! Can these creatures and light the sunrise? It's fucking godly wonder, these are your times. So right. Lifting off the surface of planet Earth. Spiraling upwards. It's too much, it's too much. It's all love, it's all love. Your face is traces of a truth you carry that I love to know. And I wish you'd tell me, but I have a hunch you won't. Cause it's safer in it, hid behind your public show. Hunch with your two fists talking in your knuckles, bro. Love don't protect you, but I bet 100 notes. Punch doesn't get Judy, you get a bloody nose. So maybe just for once, sonny, give the sun a go. Are you a shooting star or a running joke? Dickhead with your swagger and your banner saying drugs are so wicked. With your mash up bladder flaccid as a punch at home. In your crummy coat of shivers like you swung below. Singing where's the money, mother, where'd the money go? I'm on a hillock with a gullet full of ones and O's. Trying to conjure something dope from my country folk. Yelling fuck the front page, check your frontal lobe. Check the substances in which they cut your code. Blood and injustice, and on another note, son, it's summer street, the streets and all your underclothes. Stuff your stomach, speak your peace before the summer goes. Speak your secret griefs in psychedelic colour code. Speak the lions that are lying in your undergrowth. They will keep you flying long after the clubs are closed. Cause you a giant similar to when the sun implodes. Truth has a sledgehammer for your funny bones, right? Keep the moon shit rising, come on, right? These are creatures that light, come on, right? These are creatures that light, the sunrise is fucking godly wonder. These are your times, come on, right? Keep the moon shit rising, come on, right? These are creatures that light, come on, right? Something has died in your eyes, the sunrise is godly wonder. These are your times, come on. We are getting off our knees now. Too much love. We're getting off our knees now, right? Can these are creatures that like the sunrise? It's fucking godly wonder. These are your times to come on, right? Keep the moon shit rising, come on, right? Can these are creatures that like, come on, right? Something has died in your eyes. The sunrise is fucking godly wonder. These are, come on, right?
Fascist. Hello. Thank you so much. I'm deeply grateful to be here today on the stage. So many sense, like I see the Palestinian flag free because your fight is our fight. Because we understand that this battle is an international battle. And to understand that this amazing committee that invited me today, that is La Minga, that came from all America, from Alaska to Patagonia, people all over. But we got death and fallen. Commitment, we say, la puta madre. Way to make antifascistas siempre. And because without that, we can have that fight. So that song that I will stage with other friends.